Paul L. writes, I'm really curious as to why would Batman and Superman would fight each other because they're both superheroes. So why?
Well, that's a great question. I think a lot of times those of us who are really immersed in the geek culture, we take these sorts of questions for granted, and we forget that most of humanity is not in our super geeky culture. So it's a great question. It all comes down to the nature of the two heroes. Now, one of the things that has always been great about the mythology of Batman and Superman is not the fact that they're both heroes, but they are so diametrically opposed and different types of heroes. You get Superman, who is the Boy Scout. He's the true red, white, and blue. Truth, justice, the American way. Everything done by the rule book. All that kind of stuff. You get Batman, who is a vigilante. He believes in stopping evil at its own game. He will go out and bust everybody's ribs up just because he didn't like the way... He thought you might snatch that lady's purse. Let me teach you a lesson. Bam, 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 and so in the comics, there are times when the two of them have come to on different sides of an issue that would come up where, the government doesn't want Batman doing something, so they call on Superman to stop him, which is one of the hooks that they used in The Dark Knight Returns. So right now, when we come into the movie universe, we have Batman who's trying to protect his city, and then he sees that, hey, there's this alien in this world who just had this big fight, and he's so powerful, destroyed, part of downtown Metropolis just because he had one fight with somebody. I see this dude as an alien threat. There's lots of different ways they could approach this. But that's the way we've been assuming it, right? That's because Bruce Wayne sees Superman as a threat. Well, what if it's the other way around? What if it's more like The Dark Knight Returns, where the government goes to Superman and says, we've got this vigilante problem. There's this dude who's giving us headaches called Batman. Go take care of that for us. They might go that way, although I think they're going to go the other way. But anyway, there are many different ways you can paint it, but it all comes down to its core that these guys' philosophies are two completely opposites from each other, which makes them great allies in the comics, but also makes them butt heads sometimes. So I think it's going to be really fascinating to see on screen. Anyway, Christian, what do you think?
Well, I think they're going the first way, because if you watch Man of Steel with the little Easter eggs of how there are things, Gotham getting blown to bits, there's things in LexCorp getting blown to bits. I think Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne at first are going to kind of team up to take this alien down. And eventually, they'll have this big fight, and then eventually Bruce Wayne, Batman, will see the error of his ways and understand that, Kal-El is indeed on his side. But I think that, those are two big egos, man, that are going to be going at it, and it's going to be iconic. You're going to want to see it, and it'll be like a big, huge fight. I think that they'll set it up in the way that you'll understand exactly why they're fighting each other, and you might not, almost like Captain America and Iron Man, as to where you, like when we get there, you don't know who you want to root for. And then by the time you do, everything will be okay.
Dennis?
From a story standpoint, I don't know which way it's going to go, but I feel like also just, these are two characters that don't know each other. They don't know each other's agenda. They don't know each other's purpose. I mean, you take it to like, our regular world, real person world. Think about like when you introduce two friends together, you're like, oh, that guy's a great guy. That guy's another great guy. And they meet, and then later they're like, oh, I hate that guy. Right. You just don't know. You don't know how things, the chemistry or how people click. So
what are you trying to tell me, Dennis?
Well, John knows a lot of things.
Okay, what's next?
Alexander Burton writes, hi AMC, love the show. What is the best performance in an otherwise bad movie? Mine is Amy Adams in Night at the Museum 2.
Oh God, that's the type of question it's a great question, but it's one of those questions I'd have to sit down and actually think through about. Like, I don't walk around with, hey, best performance in a bad movie. I'd have to think about it. You guys got any that jump off the top of your head?
For me, Sean Penn in, what was that movie? I Am Sam?
I Am Sam, yeah.
I thought he did a great job in it, but the movie I did not like at all.
You say that about Monster, I guess, too, with Charlize Theron. The movie was okay, but I thought she was, incredible.
She won the Academy Award for that, doesn't she?
And same thing with, Jennifer. That not horrible movies. So again, I have to think about it, but like even with Cake, which was an okay movie, and Jennifer Aniston was just amazing.
All right, what's next?
Snow writes, what is your favorite twist in a movie?
It's hard. It's the stereotypical one, but it's a stereotype for a reason. The one in Sixth Sense was just fantastic. That's a great twist. So I might be able to think of others that I like more, but off the top of my head, the Sixth Sense one, like I said, it's a cliche now, but at the time, there's a reason everybody in the pop culture was talking about it.
I am baffled that you said that one.
Really?
I am your father. I mean, come
Well,
on.
okay, no, see, obviously that is the biggest
That's
twist.
I mean, that's Shakespeare stuff right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Usual Suspects is a
Yeah,
great one.
I'd say Usual Suspects for me. Just
Yeah.
because if you rewatch it, nothing. I don't think anything gets ruined by knowing what the ending is. You know.
Right.
So.
And the original Planet of the Apes. Still,
yeah.
knocked people's
With
brains
the Statue
apart.
of Liberty
Oh
and-
man, yeah, that way that they did that. Not the Abe Lincoln one, Tim Burton. The original one is just something that people still talk about.
All right, what's next?
Flex writes, do you think there could be a live-action Simpsons movie, and who would play the Simpson family?
Oh, a live-action Simpsons movie? No, no,
Terrible.
no, terrible
Yeah.
idea.
Awful.
Terrible. It
It's
might
like the
be.
Flintstones. When they did the Flintstones, it didn't work.
Yeah, that did, and plus, people know and love The Simpsons as they are. It's something that maybe The Simpsons might want to try as an experiment, like out of left field experiment in their final season for one episode, maybe. But to do a feature film on that, no, that would,
No one would watch it.
no one would watch it. No one wants it either. All right, what's next?
D Terrible Twins writes, why do comedy sequels fail to live up to the original?
Well, they don't always, but
A lot of times they do because they rehash the same jokes.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't know where to go with it. Because as where you can have a sci-fi or drama or whatever going into more movies, there's through lines in their story. That's where if a comedy hits, we got to do a sequel. What do? Let's just do the same things. Just try to tell a little bit of the same. Oh yeah, we just tell the same jokes. But they like it the first time. Well, they like it the second time, and normally we don't.
one of the worst examples of a comedy sequel, like just almost ruined the original, was Analyze This to Analyze That. It's the Billy Crystal, Robert De Niro, because the first one, Analyze This, was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think Lisa Kudrow played Billy Crystal's wife in that too. Extremely funny. Second one, so awful. The only one I can think of right off the top of my head where I thought the sequel in the comedy was actually funnier and better than the original was Rush Hour. The first Rush Hour was okay. I thought Rush Hour 2 was a great movie. I really do. I thought it was funny and exciting and all that kind of stuff, but that's the one comedy I can think of.
I think 22 Jump Street for me.
Oh, yeah?
Is even
Good one.
funnier than the first one.
Yep. No,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. I didn't
Yeah.
think
But
about that.
yeah, I agree with you. It's the narrative because you have this funny concept, but then when you revisit it again, it's not as funny.
And that's why 22 Jump Street worked because they played
Yeah.
on that, and they pretty much showed this is the same movie. It's exactly the same movie, and we're telling you no comedy has done that, and that's why I think that movie worked. But a movie that was horrible sequel, Caddyshack 2, movie that actually delivered Austin Powers 2. That's
Yes,
what it delivered.
yes, Austin, that's another good
It
one.
happens, but it's you can remember. Hangover 2 did not work for me.
No.
because it was a rehash. So there was, more times than not they don't work.
All right, let's take one final one for the day.
All right, Georgia writes, which Marvel hero would you like to see turn into a villain?
Oh, which Marvel hero would I like to see turned into a villain? Okay, let's for argument's sake say confine it to the cinematic universe. Well, we've already kind of seen Hawkeye do it,
Yeah.
but zombie-ish stuff like that. Because all the natural elements are there. Hulk would be great. I mean, they did several animated movies with the Avengers where it's the Avengers come together to stop Hulk. So I would like to see them. And that opens the doors for Planet Hulk, World War Hulk, all that kind of stuff. So for many different reasons on the scale, I'd say Hulk.
I think Hulk's the most open to it. Although
Obvious one too, most obvious.
Yeah, Hulk to me seems like a big dog, though. I don't want him to, it's like I don't want to put my dog down. I love the Hulk. I want to see him, but it would be interesting, although it'll never happen, to see Thor. Because if Thor lost it,
Oh my
we're in
goodness.
trouble.
Yeah.
But it'll never happen.
Hulk and Thor are good. It has to be someone super powerful.
Right.
Maybe Silver Surfer, someone like that.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. He fits. He has been in a cinematic universe, so
Yeah.
that works.
Or Quicksilver. Oh, that's not an MSU.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it's. Yeah.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.